And what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans, as we believe that we are the most qualified to talk about our favorite teams. I'm your co-host, Isaac,
And Kylie.
And I'm 40.
and welcome to episode 57. It's going to be a fun episode today. We have some interesting discussion topics to go over. Let's just jump right into it because I got nothing else to say, unless any of you guys got anything you want to add to the intro.
No?
No? All right. So All-Star weekend in the NBA. Y'all are gonna have to fill me in because I only watched the dunk contest, and that's only because somebody lit up my phone saying, "Yo, who the hell is Mac McClung and why is he so good?" And I thought, "Oh, okay, I need to turn in and see what we got here." Do you want to start with the dunk contest or talk about the other stuff? Because I'm not gonna be able to provide any context for the
I,
other things.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch any of it. Not the dunk contest, not the 3-point contest, not the not the All-Star game. I I don't know. I think the NFL kind of ruined All-Star festivities for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, ever since like the Pro Bowl has turned to poop. Um, I don't really watch any All-Star or anything anymore. And yeah, I know that Mac McClung, great job on the dunk contest. He made it very exciting, but there's not enough big name guys to really get you to watch those type of things anymore. Like we would want to see like a John Moran or I don't know, somebody, like maybe like another round of Aaron Gordon or something like that.
Cross.
Blake Griffin jumping over cars.
Yeah, like when it was those guys, it was fun to watch because those were like the big names at the time in the NBA and stuff like that. Like Mac McClung, yeah, he's in the NBA, yeah, he's known and stuff like that, but he's not a superstar. Like there's not superstar names in those events anymore, so it doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
spark your eye to really want to jump to it and be like, oh, I'm watching the dunk contest tonight for sure. So I can't give an opinion because I didn't watch anything.
I think
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the only reason I watched the dunk contest is because um I asked I asked my boyfriend, I was like, is Mac McClung gonna win it? And he was like, yeah, he should after that first dunk. Like, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll watch it. And I'm glad I did because Philly finally won something this year.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Took you guys
Um.
long enough.
Yeah. Seriously. Shut up. Beat the Astros. Um.
That was uncalled
But
for. You didn't have to make it personal, but you did. You went there.
yes, I
So
did.
I
I did
guess
have
I'll
to
give
make it
it.
personal.
I'll go get you. How about you beat the Astros and the Chiefs?
That's one time that we've played each of them. You guys cannot beat the Astros. Anyway, um,
I concede. You're fine. I I'm curious what you guys think though, because I feel like there's just no more interest anymore in all-star games across any sport.
mm,
I mean, maybe Major League Baseball, I guess, because the home run derby and it's fun. But across
well,
all sports, all-star games just they're not interesting anymore.
with
All-star
major,
events.
yeah, I mean, with Major League Baseball, like the reason why people care about it is because it had implications on the World Series,
Yeah,
and every player, like all the good players, played. You don't see that like with the NFL did the flag football, which I guess was okay, um, but nobody really cares. And the NBA, like nobody plays defense. It's not a competition. It's just like who can shoot the farthest three. Um, so nobody cares about those because of those reasons. And the MLB actually made the All Star game matter. You know, it used to be because of the NFL, the players that were in the Super Bowl do not play in the Pro Bowl, obviously. But every good player plays in the MLB All Star game, and it matters, especially if you are on a team that's competing for a World Series, you want to try to win that game for your team potentially. So, and everybody likes home runs, so of course the home run derby is going to do something.
So do you think they should do something like that with the NBA or the NHL to make the All-Star games mean something to get people to take them seriously? Because I was thinking about that. It's like there's got to be something they can do. Because I mean, you could always just
that
dump the idea
would-
altogether.
I think they should do it with the NFL as well. I think they should do the NFL just like they do the rest of the sports and throw the Pro Bowl right in the middle of the season. Like, just the best, whoever's been the best these first 8 games, you come play for your side, NFC, AFC. Whoever wins the game, that's, who's the home team in the Super Bowl. And, you can have it like that or something. Or that's who gets to host the AFC and NFC. That's who gets to host the. I don't know. They can make it something though. I think it would be a lot better, and a lot of people would tune into the Pro Bowl if they threw it in the middle of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, I can understand why the NFL doesn't have it matter for the Super Bowl, because, like, say this past year, it was this past season. I don't even know who won the Pro Bowl, but was it? It was NFC, wasn't it?
I think the NFC did win.
I didn't
Yeah, I
watch,
think-
so I couldn't tell you.
I think Eli beat Peyton, and so that would have been the Eagles playing Philadelphia, if you wanted to do it that way. And so the issue with that is, when are you gonna see a Super Bowl in, like? We're not gonna have a
I love this
Super
though.
Bowl.
I love this though, because I was just having this argument with somebody yesterday, and I was saying we need more Super Bowls like that. It would make it a lot more fun if we saw a fucking snowy Super Bowl. Like, that would be
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, dude. One of my favorite championship games in all of sports was the 2017 Grey Cup. Toronto's playing Calgary in Ottawa in a blizzard. It was awesome. By the way, go check out that game. Last second field goal. One of the best Grey Cups of all time. Canadian football is awesome. There was a 100-yard touchdown and a 100-yard fumble return in the same game.
The last time we've seen a Super Bowl outside was the Seahawks Broncos at MetLife.
And I feel like the NFL is scared to do outdoor Super Bowls again.
I have no idea why. It would probably be the most fun thing ever. Like, just imagine it's one of those
A cold ass day in
one of
Philadelphia or
those
something.
winters.
Yeah, that's
like
awesome.
or like even in Kansas City, like or imagine Buffalo. But oh my god, it'd be
Ooh.
insane. Like, it'd just be
Lake
way
effect snow
fun
just
to
works
watch.
well with football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
By the
NFL
way, if you guys are wondering why I'm moving around so much, I'm short for time today. So after we record, I'm folding my laundry. But continue going. A man's got to make time, okay? A man's got to make time. Kylie is just looking at me like, why did I start this show with him?
No, but
But anyway, continue. I like where this conversation's going.
that would definitely be fun though, because I think, and it allows a lot more, like, of your fans to get there to the game, because it's like some of those fans, the stadium's in their backyard, they can walk right to it and stuff like that. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, imagine how good it would be for small town America. We forget that the NFL, there's a lot of teams that are based in small markets. Those small markets don't get Super Bowls.
right.
So you know how good that would be for their economy? I think I'd have to double check. We have to check. This better not be like an Olympic situation where holding a major event ends up destroying a country's economy.
Hold on, you guys keep talking. I want to look at the past Super Bowl matchups.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of somewhere like Cleveland or Cincinnati. Like,
Cleveland is one of those cities that gets so much shit, but is not that bad. I went to Cleveland for spring break back in 2019 because me and my friends wanted to hit up both of the Hall of Fames. Oh, by the way, since I'm holding it right now, go get our merch, guys. Look at that logo on the back. Go get our merch. This stuff is awesome. The wool,
Green Bay
very
too.
nice. Check our
Link
Twitter
in
bio
bio.
for our merch. Link in bio. Yeah, no, Cleveland's a great city, and the passion they have for their sports teams is unrivaled. they know what hardship is. They have dealt with so much hardship. And, I think we dunk on them a lot. And honestly, sometimes they deserve it, Browns. But man, like Cleveland, that city deserves something like that.
Yeah.
Because I think we forget this. We try to put the Super Bowl in like tropical locations in the South or the Southwest, the Southeast, or indoor stadiums. We forget football is a cold weather sport. It's meant to be played outside in freezing conditions, where the ground is soggy like a swamp, and you're battling in the elements. We don't get that anymore because for whatever reason, and I think that's part of the soul of the game that's really missing. Whenever a game has bad weather, fans love tuning into it. Doesn't matter if the game is like shitty or bad or anything.
It just makes the story better too, because
Yeah.
imagine watching the NFL, like, how they do afterwards, they show you like the mic'd up on the sidelines and stuff like that on NFL Network, and they just show you the replays, but in like a different perspective. Imagine those type of things. Like, you hear guys on the sideline, man, it's cold as shit out here, but we're in a Super Bowl. Like just
that's awesome.
Great. Yeah, like it'd be a lot more fun.
Think about the storyline you could say for a sports writer, that's the gold mine. Not only are two teams going at it in a gladiator match, but there's a third foe they have to fight too, and that is the most difficult foe of all, Mother Nature. Haha, yeah, I know, cliche, but you see my point.
So, since the beginning of the Super Bowl era, they have played in a cold weather environment 4 times.
That's crazy.
Most of it's Miami. New Orleans is a big one. The Coliseum, Los Angeles.
They need to play Super Bowls in the Coliseum. Remember when they played Super Bowls in the Rose Bowl? They played a bunch of them in the Rose Bowl. That's awesome. Yeah. Right in the shadow of the San Gabriel Mountains or whatever they're called. Mm-hmm. I hope they're the San Gabriels, because they're either the San Gabriels or I just named the mountains from GTA 5.
Now, this past Super Bowl, while it still pains me and I am still crushed by it, this was a great Super Bowl. It was, honestly, if we had this Super Bowl with last year's halftime performance, I don't know if you could have a better recent Super Bowl matchup.
But with the conditions of that field, they might as well have just played outside.
Yeah.
Dude, straight up.
Yeah. That field was irresponsible.
Now, both teams did have to play on that field, obviously. But it really hindered our defense. It sucks.
1,000%. And it's crazy to me and ironic that the Chiefs came out in all the cleats that didn't have to be changed. They had the correct cleats from the start.
I have a feeling that they were. No, I have a feeling that they were on the field beforehand. And one of the Chiefs trainers was like, "Hey guys, this turf kind of sucks. We want to change cleats just to be safe."
Yeah. That's exactly.
I saw the Chiefs slipping and sliding a little bit too, but not. I don't know if it was nearly as much as the Eagles. Like I said, I'm not blaming the field. Like, both teams had to play on it. This is not me blaming the field.
It kind of brings back memories, and I'm going to go really deep in NFL history here. It kind of brings back memories. Are you guys familiar with the sneakers game? No? Okay. So the NFL, this is a great example of why the NFL needs to do a better job of teaching people their history.
Is this from like the Yep.
1934 NFL championship game. Bears are playing the Giants. The field is completely frozen over. At halftime, the Giants told their equipment manager, go to the gym down the street and get some sneakers. We'll have more traction that way. And it worked.
Wild.
Yeah.
They might as well have played, in the snow. But it's Minneapolis, which was in a dome. That's when the Eagles actually won.
They played the Metrodome too once.
Yeah. And then East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife, which is what we mentioned. And so was the Seattle-Denver game, which Seattle blew out Denver. I think that's that's like the only outdoor cold stadium, because Lucas Oil can be closed.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about anything.
That's not even the coldest Super Bowl of all time. The coldest Super Bowl of all time was in New Orleans in the 70s.
Was it really?
Super Bowl VI was played in like 20-degree weather or something. The fountain outside the stadium in New Orleans froze. Like the Cowboys and the Dolphins were so confused during that game. It was like, isn't this supposed to be Mardi Gras? What the hell's going on?
Can I? Two things just actually came to my mind. They're off topic. It's kind of flipped a little bit. But how do we feel about LaShawn McCoy's comments about Eric Bieniemy?
What did he say? I did not see.
What did he say? Which, by the way, yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh yeah,
Washington gets Bieniemy.
Oh, have fun with him, Calvin. He serves the Chiefs very well. He'll make a great head coach one day, but for now, have fun with him because you're about to see some of the wildest things ever on the football field.
And I
perfect guy for Sam Howell.
Wait, what were you saying about Sam?
He's a perfect guy for Sam Howell.
Oh yeah,
to try to be the guy.
I was just telling somebody today. Well, me and the guy were talking today, another Commanders fan, and I was like, "How do you feel about Sam Howell? Like, you think he's gonna be good with Bieniemy?" And he was like, "Well, he took Patrick Mahomes to the AFC Championship in his first year starting." And I said, "Yeah, but that's Patrick Mahomes. This is Sam Howell."
Difference.
And he was like, "We don't know how he's gonna develop though. We only really seen him in one game, and in that one game, he played impressive." I said, "Okay, we have to give the guy a chance. But what if you can have a guy like Aaron Rodgers for a year or Lamar Jackson or something like that?" And he was like, he wouldn't even go down that line. But I don't know. But here's what LaShawn McCoy said.
I hope he doesn't, but I think he will. What's his value? What makes him a good offensive coordinator? See, the problem is a lot of these people that go on social media, oh, he should be the guy for the job. They haven't played there. They're not in the locker room. I've been in the rooms where he's coaching, and he has nothing to do with the pass game at all, right? When the plays are designed, that's Andy Reid. When you talk about offensive coordinators, I can tell you what makes Brian Daboll with the Giants a very, very good coordinator. I can tell you what Andy Reid or Doug Peterson. But when I asked about Eric Bieniemy, what makes him good? When we watch the film or practices and we correct the wide receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks, he doesn't talk in there. Andy Reid talks in there. He may say things to the running back because he's an ex-running back coach. I get that. But he has no real responsibility. Now you go from the Chiefs, where you can hide behind Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. Then you go to the Washington, where you got to call plays. You got to run the meetings. You got to run the installs. And the last issue I have with him is what makes Andy Reid so great, not the play calls, which we see that, which, I mean, that's one of it. But the other thing is, like, adapting to the players. For Bieniemy, my first practice, I couldn't believe it. He dog coaching, he dog cussing the players. Like, and not just the regular players, Kelsey, other players. So it's like, it's hard for me. I'm rooting for him because he's a black coach, and I love to see black coaches win. Also, he's a running back coach. Running back coach will never get a chance to be offensive coordinator. The last one was like Anthony Lynn. So I want that to do well for him. But if I have to do my job and be honest, my thing is just, where is the true value at? Is it to do with him being?
He's making some good points there.
That's interesting.
A lot of guys came back to quote tweet that played for the Chiefs. Tyrann Mathieu, for example, and he says, "You effed up with this one." And then Jamal Charles says, I have to find Jamal Charles' exact quote because he defended Bieniemy.
Now,
how long was McCoy in Kansas City? I'm trying to remember.
A year.
Okay.
The year you guys won, and then he went to Tampa.
So look, Cheetah says, Tyreek Hill, he goes, Shady just mad because Bieniemy told him to tuck that ball. So, and that's coming from a top guy that used to be in that offense. But Jamal Charles says, I have to disagree with you, Shady. Bieniemy coached me 4 years. I learned so many things from EB, and I still keep in contact with him. Great husband and father. He deserves to be a head coach. So, do you think LaShawn McCoy was just being hater because that was the end of his career? He got benched at that time. Clyde Edwards-Helaire came in and was the guy and stuff like that, and it wasn't LaShawn anymore. because these other guys are defending him, or do we have to give some thought about what this guy's saying and think about maybe, all right, he might be right? Because this is the reason that I wasn't shadowing away from what he said, and I was kind of like thinking in my head, like, damn, the enemy, what really is he gonna do? Like, because I heard Travis Kelce say one time on his podcast, as far as I know, Andy Reid's calling those plays. So when you hear two guys say that now at this point, but then other guys are coming out and saying, "Oh, Shady's tripping," it's like, what really do you believe? You're the Chiefs fan, Isaac.
Sorry, I got distracted by something. Sorry, the Titans just released Taylor Lewan. I was just catching up on
Oh
that.
wow,
Yeah.
man, call right now. Upgrade y'all.
I hope for the best for Bieniemy.
Of course.
I don't know how long McCoy was only there for like a year or two, so I don't know if he got the full Eric Bieniemy experience. That's why I'm hesitant to believe him. But that being said, it is Shady McCoy, so I mean,
So here's my thing though,
Shady
because
McCoy, Hall of Famer too, if you ask me. I ain't gonna lie.
absolutely, and people are gonna say, "Oh, his 2 rings are nothing." Look, dude, that dude deserved a ring during his career. If he had to go ring chasing and not play to get 2, that's fine because he deserved 2 with how well he played. Yeah, he's a dog. I love him. I have his jersey upstairs. That's my guy. We all know that Andy Reid is the psycho that's running the insane Chiefs team. And I'm still that circle shit they did in the Super Bowl still brings me nightmares.
yeah,
But and I mean Andy was great for the Eagles too. So we all know Andy Reid is a huge part of that team. But for you to win go to 4 AFC championships. I think he's been to the AFC championship like is what 4 or 5 years straight now?
yeah, 5.
5 years straight, yeah.
5 straight AFC championships.
2 Super Bowls.
2 wins, 1 loss in the Super Bowl. So while the coach is, the head coach, Andy's Andy, and he's one of the best in the business, like the coordinators still have a job to do. And we all know, like, just because Andy is doing a lot of the coaching doesn't mean that Bieniemy doesn't have much to do with it at all.
Correct. Because I remember on those 2 plays Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney scored, the guys in the Chiefs locker room were saying Bieniemy pointed that out, that you guys do that when they were in a film session and they were watching film. He was like, these guys, when they see the motion, they pass off the guys. So, and the Jaguars did it against you guys. They passed off the guy. I mean, you guys passed off the guy against the Jaguars, and that's really who he got to play from. And then the Jaguars ran the thing with their running back out into the flat. He scored. But Bieniemy was the guy that pointed that out. So then it's like LaShawn McCoy, what he says is like Bieniemy doesn't talk in there. He doesn't say anything. It's all Andy Reid, this, that, and the third. But then you have guys that are saying that, Bieniemy is the guy that pointed this out, and that's why we scored these 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. But then you also have guys like Travis Kelce saying on his podcast, as far as I know, it's Andy calling those plays.
What's really going on in Kansas City? That's the
Yeah.
some serious investigative reporting needs to be done here.
We'll see now because they're in 2 different spots.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, though, because everybody's like, Bieniemy doesn't need, to prove himself. Nobody else has had to, prove themselves to get a head coaching job, and why is he going there when it's so easy to be just the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs? You can just ride Andy's coattail. And look, if you're a true competitor, and especially if you want to be a head coach in this league, you want a challenge. You don't want to, you don't want people to say, oh, because of this or because of that. You want to be able to do it on your own.
So listen, since he's gotten there, 2 guys have already gone. He's gotten rid of 2 guys already that were on the offensive ends of things. I forgot. I was reading the article this morning. I forgot who he got rid of, but 2 guys are already gone from Washington's coaching staff. Bieniemy made those moves from what the article said. But it's set up perfectly now for him to become a head coach, because this is what I think is going to happen. I think new ownership, whenever that does happen, is going to let Ron Rivera ride out this year, see where it goes, this, that, and the third. But that's just all just
smoke screen,
because Bieniemy is going to be the head coach next year. I think Ron doesn't leave the team. He becomes our defensive coordinator, and Jack Del Rio gets the hell out of here.
Clip that, Isaac.
I will clip that.
Can you see the future?
But I really believe me as a Commanders fan, I have no choice but to believe in this guy. I hope he brings nothing but great things. I hope LaShawn McCoy is wrong. I believe LaShawn McCoy is wrong, but there's another side of me that says, maybe the guy might be right, because I've heard Travis Kelce say himself, and that Travis Kelce, I'll believe anything that comes out of Travis Kelce's mouth about that offense before LaShawn McCoy's mouth any day, because Travis Kelce has been the guy in that offense for years now. So if he say Andy Reid calling the plays, Andy Reid calling the goddamn plays.
Yeah.
So I hope Bieniemy can change that narrative this year.
But here's the thing too. How much has he learned under Andy Reid to help him be a real offensive coordinator?
1,000% correct. Exactly.
So, and the main thing I have to say about this, as an Eagles fan and as a Phillies fan, for the love of God, stop giving me tough divisions. It's so annoying.
I hope do that. I cannot do that.
Because the only team that's not going to be competitive next year, that you would think wouldn't be competitive next year, is Washington, and then they go and get Eric Bieniemy, who, because nobody would think he would just switch teams, he would just go from OC to HC, but now he went to offensive coordinator for the freaking Commanders, and now it's potentially going to just be a good division and just piss me off.
If he somehow changes Sam Howell and Sam Howell comes into this crazy ass quarterback, if we end up, listen.
Yeah.
Just know people won't hear the end of me. This podcast will be blowing up.
Last thing I want is for you guys to become competent, because you guys already have a good team.
All we need is a quarterback. If Sam can be that quarterback, we're going to be okay. Because they were talking about today, we are 99.99% franchise tagging De'Aaron Payne. So that means that whole defense is back next year. With a healthy Chase Young that has to prove his point, because they don't even want to pick up his 5th-year option right now.
That's crazy. After his rookie year, I thought for sure he was going to be like something stupid.
We'll see.
I hope that this leads to good things. I'm rooting for Washington now that they have Bieniemy. Sorry, Kylie. I know that makes you feel, but
Oh, we have the recipe to beat them. Don't even worry about it. We got something for them.
You're gonna take that, Kylie? You gonna take that from him?
It's the closest you'll get to a Super Bowl.
Fight back.
No, it's not. We'll be there. Left hand.
I'm not gonna shit talk because every time I do it, bites me in the ass.
Left hand up.
So, I just know that you and a couple of my other friends are Washington fans. So while I hate the team, I love you guys. So if you guys end up succeeding and it doesn't hinder us, I'm fine with it. Just let us get a ring first. Let us get a ring first.
No.
Boo! I want violence. Kill each other.
You'll get that.
We'll be back in the NFC
twice a year
for Dallas.
I believe that. Now I believe in that.
I mean, obviously, the man, everybody's gonna be in the NFC Championship game before Dallas is.
Yeah, Dallas is some shit.
The Broncos are gonna be in the NFC Championship game before Dallas is, and they play in the AFC. Come on.
Now that's a stretch, but yes.
Is it though? Is it? Is it really a stretch to say that when Dallas has what, 5 playoff wins since '96?
Zeke could be on a move all season. You know that?
Zeke should have been on the move when he went to Cabo, dude. I would have sent his ass to the Sun
I
before I
always
gave
said
him a
for 3 years
contract.
now. I said for 3 years now I like Tony Pollard better than Zeke.
Yeah, me too, dude. He like as soon as a running back pulls that stunt for money, out. You're a running back. Calm yourself. Like
We've gotten way off script today, but I love this topic.
Hey, no, I have no problem. I have no problem having more long discussions. I actually do have a discussion topic I want to bring up.
Shoot.
It's unrelated to anything that we really saw this past in the sports we talked about, but it's something I had an issue with. Kylie knows what I'm talking about because we worked together and she had to hear
Oh,
yelling.
yeah.
So I've been thinking about this for a while now. I'm curious what your guys' opinions are. Sports broadcasting kind of sucks.
Yeah.
At least it does in its current iteration. Hear me out. Here's why I say this. Sports broadcasting, I have noticed in recent years, ever since I got into the world of broadcasting myself, I've noticed it just not live up to the standards that were taught when you first get into the industry. Everything feels hyper commercialized and way too focused on the personalities who are calling the games rather than the games themselves. And I bring this up because I was thinking about this because last Sunday I'm watching Fox's presentation at the Daytona 500 and they're doing a terrible job. You know, constantly cutting to commercial, the announcer sounding bored during the biggest event of the year. And at first I thought, oh, this is just a motorsports thing because no one cares about motorsports in America. But then I looked back at some other broadcasts and realized this is an actual industry problem. Think about which of the big TV networks that cover sports, which one of them actually talk about the sports or seem focused on the sports?
I love that you brought this up, Isaac, because
I have a lot to say about this too.
do you know they told Tony Romo not to do the play-by-play that he was doing? You know how Tony Romo used to call out the play before it was happening?
Yeah, it was.
Stop that.
And
like, he's not allowed to do that anymore. And I started to go back and started to listen to Tony Romo's broadcasting this year, and he doesn't do that anymore. And I was like, wow, they really took that away from this man. But that was a great part of his broadcasting. Like, that was part of him.
And I'll tell you why they probably did that. So I was talking with one of our coworkers, mine and Kai's coworkers, about this. I was thinking about all the networks that cover sports, and I kind of ranked them like this. CBS is at the top. Their coverage is limited because they only cover a handful of sports. They only really do golf, a couple of college football conferences, the NFL, and March Madness. But their stuff is top tier. They don't have a lot of big name analysts or big personalities, but they make up for it with incredible coverage in which they seem to focus on what's happening on the field. I think that's why they told Tony to stop that, because they were like, you're getting a little ESPN-y there, buddy. You need to calm down, which I don't like because that was cool. But at the same time, I would understand why CBS would try it, even though I disagree with it. It's something I don't like that. I think next is ABC. They really don't have a lot. They're more connected to ESPN, but when they do get something to broadcast, they do a great job of it. Then below that is NBC. NBC covers a lot of sports, but let me tell you this. Sunday Night Football's presentation is top tier. All of their motorsports presentations, top tier. NBC does a lot of more odd one-off sports like horse racing or the Olympics, but whenever they do it, they do a really good job. I think NBC and CBS work because they have very few sports they actually cover, so they have more places to work with. Then you get to the mid-tier. This is where you get a lot of the streaming platforms like Amazon or other live streams, where it's like, okay, there could be more there, but they're working with limited funding, so you got to give them a break. Then you get to like ESPN. They have so much to cover, but they really just more focus on the focus isn't really on the sports. It's on
the entertainment.
The entertainment and the personalities that they have. Because when they do cover sports, ESPN does a great job. ESPN's presentation is great, but the problem is it's hard you often get distracted by the personalities. And then at the bottom is Fox. Fox is terrible, and I'll go into more detail on that later. But that's where I have them placed. because I feel like CBS and ABC are like the pinnacle of that's what sports broadcasting should be. And everyone else is trying to catch up to them, or in some cases going the other option. Fox.
So here's the thing. This is just going to be personal with me because I love my teams. I watch them all the time. So what I love about the Phillies and the Sixers, which is why I tend to have more of an appreciation for watching those games than Eagles games lately. But the Phillies are partnered with NBC Sports, and our main guys are Tom McCarthy and John Kruk. John Kruk used to play for us, and Tom McCarthy is our regular guy, our play-by-play, whatever. He does damn near every game. And you can actually hear him call a couple football games. He does those too, but he's our Phillies guy. And so I think I've been spoiled with that a little bit because we have great commentary both for the regular broadcast and the radio, because Scott Fransky and I'm blanking. I don't listen to the radio, but everybody loves them too. So we have this network of broadcasters that are great, and then you have Apple TV come in and do a game or two, which the graphics for the Apple TV cameras, freaking incredible. If we could have Apple TV equipment with local broadcasts, I think that's the way to go. And I think that should be for every sport.
Yeah, and I think local broadcasting, I think I forgot to put that in, but local broadcasts for like MLB or regional
It's great.
games, that is like the actual top tier because they don't have the budgets that the big networks do, but they take a ton of they do their research, they do an incredible good job. And part of that is because they don't have as much to cover. But I think here's something I was thinking about. So when I was all upset about Fox's coverage of the Daytona 500,
You were pissed.
Well, my three big issues, and these can apply to all sports, is this. The issue at first is commercials. I think there's too much advertising in sports now, and that's inevitable. Companies want to get their markets out there. In the terms of motorsports, we've reached a point in our society where it's unacceptable to cut away from the live action at any point. And if you're going to have commercial breaks, have them by side. And I would say do the same for any sport, because that really you get because there's a lot that happens during those timeouts when they go to commercial break. And I feel like another thing I think is that I think a lot of cultures, especially American culture, we've gotten to the point where we no longer tolerate advertisements as much. If you see something on TV, you aren't thinking like, I want to go buy that. You're thinking,
like,
this is annoying. Get off my screen. Go back to the game.
Especially you, Burger King.
Yeah, I mean burger. Yeah, I mean it's really it has the opposite intended effect. I don't think ad execs really are curious, but there's just too much advertising. Everything feels corporate and sterilized. Like we're afraid to say stuff to scare off the announcers. And I'm not saying this as if oh, this PC bullshit. We need to go back where announcers could speak their minds. No, I'm just saying it gets to the point where it feels like
broadcasts.
Yeah, they get it. There's an issue with announcers sounding bored in some events, or just rambling on about what's not happening. The biggest sin that sports broadcasters can do is not do play-by-play. And that is something that so many broadcasters struggle with, is that instead of doing actual play-by-play of what's happening, they'll just start talking about if you come from a radio background, you know how to do play-by-play. But if not, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
Now, here's the thing with that, because our guys for the regular broadcast for the Philly, I mean, Calvin, the Mets have SNY.
We got Michael Kay.
I don't know who the Yankees use.
We have Yes. We have the Yes Network.
That's right, the Yes Network. That's right.
With Michael Kay, the best announcer in all of baseball. Y'all can go.
I do really like Michael Kay. But
it's awesome.
He's the guy that did the Phillies Cardinals games, and when Harper had that home run, there it goes. See ya. That's in my mind forever.
I love him.
There's regular broadcasts. Joe Davis is another guy that I absolutely love.
Yeah. And let me ask you, all the guys that we really love, think about where they get their start. If you go on Wikipedia, you'll see a lot of them got their start in radio. That's the thing.
Tom McCarthy, they do is they kind of stray away a little bit from the play-by-play necessarily. A little bit they have, but the stories are funny, and the conversations are really good, and you do not miss any. They do not miss any special moment, like when Harper had the walk-off grand slam, when Harper had the game-tying grand slam,
Yeah.
when Harper hits a lot of grand slams. When Bryson Stott hit the walk-off 3-run home run against the Angels. Just these moments he does not miss, even with telling stories. So if you can tell stories but not miss any of the action, I think that's fine.
You
Because
know who
play
does
by
it? You know who does a great job of that in the NBA? Mike Breen.
Oh, Mike Breen is one of the
yeah.
best. He's one of the best. That's
I love
I'm not saying when I brought up this topic, I'm not saying that sports broadcaster, like the actual broadcasters, the guys behind the mic, are necessarily the bad part.
You're
They're
just saying the
actually the one,
broadcast itself.
not just the broadcast is sterilized. I'm more annoyed about the analysts behind the scenes and the personalities that some of these big the big broadcast companies have doing all of their regular stuff. It's like some of the ESPN personalities, I cannot stand. I love the
Yeah,
PTI guy.
same.
I love Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon on PTI. They're great. I watch them every evening at work. But the rest of them, man, I cannot stand Max Kellerman. Stephen A. Smith is a great sports writer, but he gets on my nerves way too often. And let me
Yeah.
just tell you about this. I know he's not on any major sports network anymore because he basically got fired for being a racist piece of ass. But
Mad Dog?
Jason Whitlock can go fuck himself. Have you ever heard Jason Whitlock talk? Jason Whitlock, for whatever reason, has decided, that's an interesting topic. I'm going to try and make and say something so offensive about it that he'll want to kill me. Jason Whitlock I don't understand. Jason Whitlock pisses me off. I'm glad he's not hired by anybody right now. He is just so frustrating.
Skip Bayless is frustrating too.
Skip Bayless is the
too,
worst.
yeah.
He shouldn't have. He's terrible.
And this, okay, I'm going to say something that's really controversial now because I wanted to get to this point because there's something, because Fox is the one network in particular that has really been dropping the ball lately. And Fox does something. And again, just before I even say this, I need to give some context because I know somebody out there is going to listen to this and be like, Isaac needs to be canceled for what he's about to say. Just so we're clear, I have family who fought in the military. I have utmost respect for our soldiers. With that being said, whenever Fox does an event, whenever Fox does an event that is even slightly related to the military, ask yourself this question: do they ever actually talk about the NFL games on an NFL week when they're doing one of their broadcasts live from an aircraft carrier? Do they even mention the actual games? They don't. The Fox does the same thing with the NASCAR race on Memorial Day weekend. They don't ever talk about the actual race in the pregame. In the pregame, they just talk about military stuff. And again, I want to make it very clear: I have utmost respect for our soldiers. I have family who's in the military. But at some point, somebody's got to get in there to the Fox execs and tell them, look, there are games going on. We should talk about them too. There is a way to balance respect for the country and the military and also give coverage to the games. And normally this wouldn't be a problem. The problem is that it's just there's no coverage when that happens.
Yeah.
And Fox does it once a year, and every time they do it, it's like, oh, turn on CBS this week because Fox isn't going to be showing any actual analysis. And again, it's like it's not a bad thing. It's just when you know the context of why they do it, because they're being paid by the U.S. Department of Defense, then you're like, ugh. So I know cancel me for saying that. I know. Hashtag Isaac doesn't care about the troops. Whatever. That's not the point. The point is, there's a better way to do it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's annoying, and I think if you're gonna do nobody likes commercials. Nobody.
Nope. Commercials are the worst.
But if you're going to do them, you got to do side by side for no matter, because with baseball you can do it between every inning, so that's different. But with football, you got to have a TV timeout, and it's annoying and stupid and forever. And the NHL has that too. Just have it side by side. Stop with this like extra TV crap. Just do it side by side. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna watch the commercials regardless. So as soon as the commercials are on, everybody opens their phone and does whatever. Like, who actually watches commercials? Nobody, because nobody cares. So the only time people watch the commercials is the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl commercials this year were ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really dropped the ball this year, especially the whole
Yeah.
M&M. When M&M's revealed. Oh, here we go again. When M&M's revealed,
We are done with the M&Ms.
they
We are
tricked
done with
us.
the M&Ms.
I'm just glad the spokes candies are back. That's all.
Yeah, it was a marketing ploy. It's genius. But
It was really genius. It got me fired up.
it got our stupid selves to talk about it on a podcast for an hour. Like, it worked.
It
But
wasn't an hour, but I see your point.
it's the title of one of our episodes.
It is.
So the commercials really fell off when they after Puppy Monkey Baby, because Puppy Monkey Baby was freaking hilarious.
What makes a good Super Bowl commercial?
It's got to be funny. It's got to be random, and it's got to be something useful. Like, everybody likes people like Mountain Dew, so there you go. A weird ass Puppy Monkey Baby thing, that just kept saying Puppy Monkey Baby, and has a Mountain Dew like that. That is a funny commercial. It's stupid and it's funny.
I mean,
Like-
it also you could have commercials that really make a big impact. Like have you guys seen
yeah.
the Apple 84 commercial?
Mhm.
Yeah, like that's incredible.
People lack creativity now.
I feel like it's less of people lacking creativity. Well, it is actually no, yeah, it is mostly people lacking creativity. But I also think there's a part of it that's people just sanitizing it for corporate sponsors,
Yeah, it's
and that's a struggle because I feel like
yeah.
you ever think, and this is we're gonna get into conspiracy theory territory now. You ever
Hey,
think
let's
that,
do it.
You ever think that the corporate sponsors push the NFL to like look away from certain on-field events just to like get the product to be better?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, I know. Good. Just make sure that's not really a conspiracy theory. It's just because I was thinking about it. It's like, the Nola no call. As much as I loved seeing the Saints cry, that was pass interference.
Mhm.
And I was thinking,
But you know what it did? It got everybody talking about it, didn't it?
It did, and I was thinking
That's
about
why
it.
Elon Musk does all this crazy Twitter crap, because it gets people talking about Twitter and using Twitter, which makes him money.
Elon. Here's the thing about Elon Musk. We're really getting off target with sports today.
Look,
but
we
it's
all
okay.
know
We're
he's
rambling.
a tool bag. We all know he's a tool bag, but I'm just saying, like,
Elon Musk.
the NFL just looks away from things because it gets people talking. It gets people watching films. It gets the numbers up. It gets people watching and talking and everything getting involved.
What if we just like, as a society, the NFL does something stupid, and we just, as a society, say no, and just ignore it? That would never
Good
happen.
luck.
That
Yeah,
will
good
never
luck
happen.
getting
Good
the-
luck. But
Yeah.
that's literally the only way to demand change is to just stop it. And
The last good thing the NFL did was do international games,
was it the last good thing they ever did?
to my knowledge. Because every penalty rule they make, it just gets
Yeah.
bit in the ass the next year. Nobody likes the taunting rule they came up with because everybody just likes to joke around and talk shit, but they can't even do that anymore without getting 15 yards called on them. Or is it however many yards it is. Like, so the NFL just doesn't care about its product, and it's so clear. And Calvin, we talked about this the very first time you came on. About how people just don't care about either their team or their sport. And I think Rob Manfred's a clear example of not caring about the sport. Goodell just wants views. He embraces the chaos, and you can tell because he lets people boo him before every draft. It's become a tradition at this point, so much so that they did something for the COVID draft. That is how much of a tradition that is. So these guys do not care about the sport. They do not care about their teams. And there's very few that do. And it's the most frustrating thing in the world because here we are buying the merch, watching the sport, going through the apps to watch the game, whether legal or not so legal. And, like, yeah, I get it gets people talking, but for me, I would rather have a good product than people just hating on it but still watching it.
It's always about finding the fine line,
Happy medium.
between it's sport and entertainment.
Mhm.
Because, and I hate that argument, by the way. I hate that argument when somebody says, "Well, it's not sport anymore; it's just entertainment." People make that argument about all kinds of things.
Because it's true, but make it about the sport again.
I hear it all the time as a motorsports fan, and I just hate it so much. But it applies to everything, and I think like that whole argument doesn't make sense to me because at the end of the day, sports are entertainment, no matter what.
Yeah, but
the problem,
but
the
you
problem,
know what they mean.
I know what they mean, and I know what they mean. I find it like sports are entertainment to begin with, but they're also so much more than that. And I feel like that's what a lot of corporate companies and sponsors don't understand is that they're more than just an entertainment grab bag.
Mhm.
They're
That's
more than
why you
just a cash
see-
grab.
Yeah, that's why you see all of these international players dominating the NBA. Because in the international games, especially like when you look at Luka, bro, Luka would destroy anybody in the European League because of the rules there. The foul calls are a lot less called, and there's stuff like that. So there's a reason why international players are so much better when they come here. Is because here it's commercialized. It's Americanized. It's all about the money.
I'm clipping that. I'm clipping
You
that.
should.
Was that 52-58? Okay, I'm clipping that. Man, getting a little bit back on track. I think there needs to be a revolution in sports broadcasting. I think there needs to be a point where we say we make it back about the sports. I think we tell the corporate sponsors, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to compromise on this. All right. We'll have our analysts and we'll have our personalities, but we're weeding it out. We're making it about the sports again. We're no longer going to accept, you guys remember when Brooklyn got eliminated by Milwaukee in like 2021 in
Last year?
Eastern Conference Finals? And there was a shot of Michael Wilbon and Stephen A. Smith looking shocked and horrified that a small market team just beat Brooklyn. Yeah, 2021. You remember that? Yeah, I think about that all the time. That was the moment that the sports world rose up against ESPN's personalities. And said, fuck y'all, and because everybody was convinced Brooklyn would go all the way, and that was Milwaukee basically saying, "Yeah, no."
Here's the thing, though. While Brooklyn still had a chance to send it to win in overtime, they were at half a KD foot size away from beating Milwaukee and having a cakewalk to winning the finals. The reason they lost is because KD's foot is too damn big. If it was half a size shorter, literally half a size shorter, it would have been a 3. The Nets would have won the game.
Was Kyrie healthy?
No,
he wasn't.
It wasn't.
James Harden was hurt. KD was the only one that was healthy.
He wasn't beating the Suns. I don't care. Wasn't the way he was beating the Suns.
They were going to beat the Suns. I guarantee it.
I'm going to be honest. This is why Milwaukee beat the Suns with just Giannis. Because Giannis has a lot of great role players.
Respect Chris Middleton.
Listen, Giannis had a lot of great role players around him. Plus,
that's true.
Deep as shit. The Nets bench was not that deep. On top of that, what really did they have around KD? He was dropping 50 a night damn near.
That's true. He was dropping 50. James Harden had his hamstring issue, and Kyrie, I forget what happened with Kyrie. I don't know if he was hurt or if it was because of his vaccine. It could have been the vaccine.
Oh, yeah. I remember that was a thing.
Yeah. So, like, we would not only if KD
ain't no Braun.
All I heard was LeBron. What did you say?
I respect KD. He ain't no Bron though. The closest
Oh,
thing
of course not.
I seen to Bron, he still has a lot of work to do, but it's Giannis. Once Giannis gets his game right, he'll be the closest thing to Bron.
So didn't both Giannis and LeBron get hurt in the All-Star game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we started this episode talking about how no one cares about the All-Star game anymore, and yet somehow the two best players in the league both got hurt playing in it. Makes you wonder.
According to ESPN, LeBron's the 8th best player in the league.
Well, you see the problem with ESPN.
There's not players better than LeBron. Like I saw you thinking over there. There isn't.
I was trying to think. I was like, are there 8 players? No.
No.
Who else is at 38 is going to be dropping 30 a night?
Who could they have picked? I guess they probably picked like KD, Giannis.
Jokic.
Yeah, all those young cats.
Jokic. Dude, I saw one last thing before we go. I saw this video by some independent creator on YouTube who was talking about how once all of the big stars that we grew up with retire, the NBA is kind of screwed because the new cats who are coming in, they do not care about team basketball. They only care about getting those highlights. They're highlight hoopers, as he called them. He looked at the two young guys in Houston right now, whose names are escaping me. What is it? Jalen Brunson and
Jalen Green and
something.
Porter.
Yeah, those he was talking about how those guys are they don't care about teamwork. That's the reason Houston's so bad. And I was thinking about it's once those guys go, none of the other young guys in the league right now really are that focused on building team chemistry.
I won't say all that's true because yes, we will be losing LeBron, KD, Steph, all those guys, but Jason Tatum is a goddamn competitor.
Yeah, I mean,
as much as I hate the Celtics,
Tatum
I freaking love Tatum.
Competitor. So he's gonna play.
His son's adorable too.
Yeah, he is. He's gonna play the game as if he wants to go win a championship. It's not about the highlights, not about the money. Like if you took the money away from Jason Tatum, I guarantee you he's still playing the NBA. He's one of those guys that could be a billionaire and he'd still be playing in the NBA. Like he truly loves the game of basketball. Another guy like that I'll probably say is Luka.
Embiid.
I would say Kyrie, but Kyrie's getting up there too. Kyrie coming to the end of his career, whether we like to say it or not. Like Kyrie getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but Jokic is up there too, even if you don't like him. I know you don't like him, Kylie, but you can't help. You can't help it. He's a baller.
My least favorite player in the NBA.
You have to admit that, Kylie. You have to admit that he is good.
Well, yeah, not as good as people say, but yeah.
He's crazy.
Fair.
He's crazy.
He's crazy at passing.
I think the NBA is for now in safe hands, but I did agree with that guy in saying there could be a problem down the line if more highlight hoopers get into the league. Because
definitely, like when Bronnies and those guys get in the league, hell yeah, those are highlight hoopers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think LeBron is nailed in some
himself.
Teamwork in them.
Bronny himself isn't going to be a highlight hooper because of who his dad is, but
LeBron,
that generation there is highlight hoopers.
Speaking of Bronny, he's projected to go 10th overall to the Magic or something.
And you remember LeBron said back in the bubble in 2021.
No, Orlando.
Tiring. It's over.
Wow, LeBron, this will be a great test to see. I hope what happens is that after Bronny gets drafted, he's projected to get drafted this draft, right?
Next draft. So this is his senior year. He just finished. He'll do 1 year in college, and then he'll go to the NBA.
I hope
he does a year in college, he might play overseas or something like that.
I hope what happens is that after he gets moved up, he joins the NBA. I hope what happens is that LeBron stays on for one last year, and no matter what happens, they either get to play with each other or play against each other.
Oh, he's 100% going to be playing with Bronny.
Yeah, he's going to play.
No doubt.
He's already said that. He said, "I want to play with my son." Like that's his goal.
Yeah,
I don't care if LeBron has to sit out a couple of like 10 games per season to maintain his
nobody
health.
does.
Like,
Nobody
yeah,
cares.
at the end of the day, I want this to happen.
The
It will
I,
help me get back into basketball because I have
I
not
think
been into it this year.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think next year when Bronny does get drafted, I think that's LeBron's last year.
It's
be a
gonna
s-
suck to
I
see.
think he gave it away to us in the All-Star game because there was a clip. He was like, "Man, I'm old as hell. Couple more years."
Yeah.
I mean, he's pulling at Tom Brady right now, continuing to produce at an incredible level despite his age.
Less of an asshole though.
Much less of an asshole. I love LeBron, man. I may think Jordan's better, but LeBron I think is the best player I've ever seen in person. Wait,
Yeah.
was he on the Cavs when they came to visit the Wizards that year? He may not have been on the team. That was a while ago.
I was at that Cavs Wizards game when he hit that crazy ass 3.
Of course you were.
Yeah, that was the Cavs Wizards game that I went to.
I'm
Was it
getting
playoffs?
No, that wasn't playoffs. That was regular season. The Wizards were on a 20-game win streak at that time. Yeah,
Oh,
that was back when the Wizards, Bill, John Wall, they had a squad. They were
Mhm.
like that. And then I was watching an interview with John Wall the other day. He was like, "If I don't get injured at the end of that season, we would beat the shit out of the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals." And I had to sit there and think about it. I was like, they probably would have. They gave every game that year the Cavs and Wizards played. The game was separated by like 3 points every time. That's with a healthy LeBron, with a healthy Kyrie. But the Wizards just had a better bench. So I don't know. I feel like John Wall has some. I would have loved to see that series. That would have been a great series.
I
Yeah,
hope
would've
John
been.
Wall comes to Philadelphia. I know he's not who he used to be or anything, and
Nah,
we
he
don't
is.
really
He is who he
need.
used to be. The Clippers just didn't allow him to be.
You think?
I watched a couple Clippers games this year, and I was watching John Wall this one game. He scored 11 straight points. I said, "Oh yeah, he still got it."
He was, man. Like once Jordan retired and Gilbert Arenas had that gun issue back in the day, like John Wall was my guy. Like he was my favorite player without question. Like I had his jersey, his shirt. Like he was my guy, and it sucks. Like when my fandom is Sixers and Wizards. Like those are my teams, and the Bulls because of Jordan and Joakim Noah. But I love the Wizards, and when we treated him, it really made me upset. Of course. So hopefully the Sixers can get him. I don't care what anybody else says. I want John Wall.
Even with the way his career has gone, and even if it ended today, he's going to be one of those guys that are talked about forever. It doesn't matter because he came out of college, had his own shoe right off the break. Like he had everybody going crazy with the Dougie.
I was just gonna say he did the Dougie his first game.
Yeah, like he's a household name. Like John Wall is a household name at Kentucky, at the Wizards. Like, you can go in DC and a lot of people can tell you about John Wall. People love John Wall, just like you said, Kyler. Like he's a face of DC, so people will mention John Wall forever. That's just like I was just having an argument with somebody yesterday. Percy Harvin is one of those guys I'll always mention forever in NFL or football in general because people forgot about Percy Harvin, but he was actually a great aspect to the league. He just had the concussion problem.
Yeah, give me John Wall to Philly. If that happens, I don't care if he's there for a day, dude. I'm buying that jersey.
It's sad. It's sad our athletes are coming to an end.
I know. It makes me feel old.
I know. It's sad, man. It's like, damn. Like, I'm going to be honest. Not having a season with Brady next year is going to be weird as hell. Like, when Peyton Manning,
great.
When Peyton Manning first retired, it was kind of weird. Like, it was weird as shit. Like, and now it's like Tom Brady's gone. Like we got to see 32 teams and not one of them has Tom Brady. Not on the bench, nothing. Like Tom Brady really gone. Like, damn, we watched this guy our whole childhood.
So, we don't know football without Tom Brady in it.
There's that new study out that says that true adulthood doesn't begin until the age of 25. So, I mean, I'm newly 25.
I turn 25 soon.
Yeah,
I'll be 26 soon.
Yeah, you old as hell.
Hey, don't worry about it. You live one day at a time and you live every day the fullest you can, and they all slow down and you realize just how long 25 years is, and you don't get as freaked out as much by it. That's what I found.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
I've-
true.
I think back, I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, I accomplished so much in 25 years. Shit, the next 25 is going to be even. That was so long. Oh, thank God, the next 25 is going to be just as long.
The thing is, I actually look at it sometimes like that because I put myself in my parents' shoes sometimes, and I'm looking at it from their side like, damn, I got a 25-year-old. Like, 25 years ago, I had this kid, and now he's 25 and he has his own kid. It's just like, I can only imagine to my parents' mind, that's crazy. Like, or even y'all's parents' mind, to just think like, damn, I have a 25-year-old. Like, that's crazy. Like, to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's wild, bro.
Mhm.
It flies by, but it also takes forever.
Childhood is a weird thing. Stay young, kids. And by that, I
Stay
mean,
young.
don't lose that childlike enthusiasm for stuff. You know how hyped up I get sometimes when my favorite sports teams are playing where something
Oh,
cool
yeah.
happens? You got to keep that, because if you lose
Yeah.
that, man, you just start seeing life all gray and shit. You want to
Yeah.
keep that positivity. I
I-
tweeted this the other day, and I'll stand by this. I see so many people who act so negative about everything all the time, and I understand life's. I'm not going to judge people. You
Of
know,
course.
I don't know what somebody's situation is, but at the same time, actually, there is no but, because I don't want to judge people's situations. The point I'm trying to make is this: once you find what makes you happy in life, do it, because you will find that it becomes so much easier to get through each day. It
Yeah.
does. And on that note,
Absolutely.
we want to thank you guys for tuning into today's episode. I know you probably noticed how we kind of have changed up the format just a little bit. We're kind of doing more like in-depth discussions, and I have been enjoying doing that because getting lost in the sauce in a way is wow. That
Mhm.
came out weird. That came out weird. Getting lost in the sauce, it feels a little better than just kind of reciting news stories. With
Yeah.
that being said, we will be doing a MLB season preview, making some predictions before the season begins.
Spring training starts up. First game is Saturday for the Phillies. I don't know about the Yankees or the Mets. I assume it's Friday or Saturday.
I don't care about spring training games. Just give me our first game of this. Just give me the Giants for opening day.
Wait, before we go, I gotta end this with this. Why
ahead.
isn't Chad Johnson a Hall of Famer?
Make
What is
Ocho
Chad-
Cinco a Hall of Famer.
What is Chad Johnson's career statistics? Hang on.
I just had it the other day,
I saw it on Twitter.
and remember,
John-
Chad Johnson got blackballed out the league. Let's not
Yeah.
forget.
Chad Johnson was a 3-time first-team All-Pros, one-time second-team All-Pro, 6 Pro Bowls, led the league in receiving yards once.
But let's see.
I guess
766 catches, 11,059 yards, 67 touchdowns. Okay, now I'm not even going to tell you this guy's name right here. I'm just going to tell you his stats, and you tell me if he should be in the Hall of Fame, because this next guy that I'm about to mention is in the Hall of Fame. All right, so let's remember. Hold on. Chad Johnson. All right, so 766 catches, 11,059 yards, 67 touchdowns. That's Chad Johnson. The other guy, 940 catches, 12,721 yards, 68 touchdowns. One less touchdown, 176 less catches, and 1,662 less yards. And that's because he got blackballed out the league. But he only had one less touchdown on 174 less catches.
I'd put him in.
Yeah, of course.
I'd put him in.
That other guy that's in the Hall of Fame is Art Monk.
Ooh. Oh.
Don't get me wrong, I love Art Monk. He was part of my team, my history. So, but his stats say that his stats tell me Chad Johnson should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
No, I agree.
What a way to end the show this week.
Now, whoever's watching is gonna start looking around as well. They're gonna be like, "Man, Chad should be in the Hall of Fame."
Yeah. Isaac, send us off, buddy.
That's going to do it for today's episode, you guys. The Beer Bad Sports Podcast, a proud affiliate of the Fired Up Sports Network. Go ahead and follow all of their podcasts. They're all great. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and all of our social media at BBS. Why am I messing up on the outro? Follow us on all of our socials at BB Sports_pod. And you can check out our Twitter bio for our merch, which I showed earlier in the episode. That's going to do it for us today. You guys check back next week for episode 58. We will see you.
Mets Mariners World Series. Book it.